It's the 7th of March 2019. I'm David Griffin and I'm here at Holmesfield Cricket Club and I'm talking to
Stuart Huckerby, the club treasurer.
Tom Pearson, chairman.
John Barber, club secretary.
Gentlemen, we're going to touch on the future and about the role of the club in the community before we conclude tonight. But I just want to go back to, you talked about Ruggs, you told me his surname.
Ruggs Fowler.
And he was the gentleman who
invited us down.
Brought us down.
You bought the ground off eventually, but he let you play on the ground. And also another character called Jim Cusick. Can I just throw it open to you and you can... and embellishment is great, by the way. We don't mind a bit of embellishment.
Well, okay. I think probably because I spent a lot of time doing the old pavilion up, we took the inside of a Methodist church apart, just about 50 yards from the ground at the back here. Chapel it was, yeah. And Jim Cusick helped us to do that, and he used to come down, and once we'd erected the RAF Nissen hut, which was the old pavilion, Jim really liked it down here because it was so quiet and picturesque. And much to our humour, he had a tame goat, and he used to bring it down with him regularly and tie it up, and sort of we were all laughing and giggling, as you might gather, and the jokes ran full and wild on that subject. But there was one lunchtime, Sunday lunchtime, and we'd been preparing the ground ready for the game in the afternoon, and Jim went on to the pub and tied his goat up outside, and he went in for a beer obviously, and then the next thing there was mayhem because somebody reported that his goat had eaten the daffodils outside. And so he came in, and the landlord at that time, who was a bit of a character, he actually went outside. There was all sorts of weird and wonderful language going off, as you might gather, and then Jim put a piece of baling twine through its collar, which it used to have, and he brought the goat in the pub to pull it away from these daffodils. There were 2 dogs in that pub, and I swear to goodness, one of them ran up a wall and fell down at the backside as soon as the goat put its head through the through the pub door. So yeah, Jim was a character, and
all the pints went on the floor.
All the beer went all over the floor, tables turned over and all sorts, and that was only one occasion. But yeah, we suspected for a long time. We knew he spent at least one night down in the new pavilion when his marriage had come. It was slightly parlous, but we can't be certain. But he was a character.
He was a craftsman as well, because they did a brilliant job on the inside of the pavilion.
He did.
It was all this beautiful wood panelling. We spent the next 20 years, the seating outside the pavilion was the pews from the chapel.
Oh really?
And we collected the raffle in the collecting tins. Wow. So we
recycling.
He worked for the local hunt.
Did he?
Yeah.
Was he a cricketer?
No.
No. He played once or twice.
He liked the game, but he couldn't. No,
he told us he was, but.
No, and was the goat put to any use on the outfield?
I don't know.
He batted number 3 for us.
I only asked because I interviewed one chap who said that when he started as groundsman in 19 blob going way back, I said, what sort of equipment did you have? He said, we had a roller and a goat.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Well, over quite a number of years, we've always fenced our square off and used sheep on the outfield to keep it down. We still do that now, don't we, occasionally? We've done it in the last 5 years.
I'll tell you about that, Stuart.
Natural resources, that's a great...
We've done that, yeah.
And about Ruggs, what was his claim to fame? What did he do? What was
Tom will tell you better than me.
He was in the rag trade, is that right?
Yes, he was a wholesaler in Sheffield. Produced beds and sold and clothing in the war and that sort of thing. And he was a good cricketer himself. Played for Hathersage, didn't he? Anyway, eventually he came to live down here and decided he wanted the cricket team to come and play on his field. So down we came for a shilling a year.
So now if we look at the present, you're in the Central Derbyshire League now. So when was that move? When did that take place?
3 years ago?
Yeah, this will be our 3rd season, won't it?
And you moved from which league?
Yorkshire and Derbyshire.
What was the rationale behind that?
Better cricket.
Really?
Yeah, I think we'd gone as far as we could. We were either finishing near the top or second of that league too often, and we had a virtual running with one team the whole time to see, you know, who and what was going to be the best team of the year. And it was at that point that people decided, well, I think we can play a bit better cricket, and that was the rationale for joining the league. We had to join in League 5, and then we went up, of course, to where we are now.
And what sort of opponents do you have then in the Central Derbyshire League?
Sorry, what?
Clubs? Which clubs are you playing routinely in that league now?
Swarkston, Matlock.
Oh right, so you're all over the place.
Yeah.
Chesterfield, Sightons.
Chesterfield second.
That's not too bad for you.
So we go. There are some big, quite long journeys down to the south of the county for us. But of course, conversely, they also have told us that it's a long journey for them to come up here. So, yeah.
In terms of the village, although the grounds moved, or the clubs moved grounds, this is the fourth ground it's played on.
This is the sixth
Right,
ground in
since 1905.
Yeah.
So what's the sort of what's the position the club holds within the village? Because presumably, generally speaking, recruitment was always local anyway. Is it well regarded in the village? Do people come and watch you? Do people?
I think we don't get massive crowds, but we get our regulars who will come and watch us. You know, I think we're thought of as a village amenity, a village, you know, something good within the village. We've just started a junior side again after many years, so we're getting a lot more interest from younger people now than we ever had. And what I've noticed in the last 10 years or so, we've got a lot more families down here on a Saturday now. So the players sort of grown up a little bit and got their own families, and it's buzzing on a Saturday afternoon now.
Well, some Friday afternoon, some Friday nights when the kids come with as many as 40.
That's excellent, isn't it?
40 children,
in the village.
Yeah.
So what have been the biggest changes then? I mean, Tom, you perhaps the first one to ask this question. You've been playing since, or you started playing in the early 53, was it you said?
Yeah, 53, yeah.
So what have been the biggest changes you've seen to league cricket, club cricket in that time?
I think it's become more professional, and it has to be, because you can't carry on like you used to. And the pitches have got better.
Yeah.
This pitch is a good batting pitch now, whereas years ago you wouldn't score many runs on a Saturday. Now we can get 200, and the opposition will get 200.
Yeah.
So the grounds are better, and although there's not as many teams, the teams that are there tend to be better on average, I would say.
What about you, Stuart? Changes that you've seen in the 50 or 60 years?
I think to sum it all up, when we first started, cricket was a fundamental part of almost a family weekend, and a lot of blokes used to and were able to persuade their wives stroke partners to go away, and it wasn't uncommon, like for us, to spend 2 days each weekend playing cricket. You might say in today's environment that's an extremely selfish thing to do, particularly if you went out on Saturday and didn't come back till 3 or 4 o'clock on Sunday morning and so forth, and we've done that a time or two, I must confess. But I don't think the current youth or the current young players have got those relationships with their partners to actually do that anymore, and that's really nothing to do with the fact that you know, times were different then. Yes, they were, but by the same token, I think really the cricket club formed a fairly major part of what people's lives were about. There's so much more to do now for both parties, the male and the female, within a relationship, and you've got to have a very special relationship to allow the man to go off and play cricket for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours on a Saturday, and then if you go on and well, it's nearly impossible to go away for both days.
It's very illuminating. I mean, John, I'd be interested in because you're slightly younger.
Yeah.
And I guess we probably are that last generation that did play weekends and nobody thought anything of it. And the thought of getting married in the summer or having stag nights, I mean, it just didn't happen, or going to watch football. Most teams you talk to in the, certainly post-war through to the 80s, even the 90s, you put the same 11 out every week. So you must have seen that change, because you mentioned yourself in one of the interviews about family commitments changed.
Yeah, it changed it for me. I mean, before I got married, you know, we all grew up together playing, and you know, it was golf in the morning on Saturday, Sunday, and cricket in the afternoons, and you play a midweek game as well. And the other night you'd be down here practicing or cutting the pitch. You know, and people don't do that anymore. People can't do that anymore. You know, people only want to play one day a weekend, you know, and it's either the golf or the cricket now as opposed to both. And I think the other things for me that, you know, looking back on it, for me it was a family thing. You know, my mum was on the tea committee, my dad was groundsman playing, me and my sister grew up down here, I scored, you know. That was our weekend, that was what we did as a family. And, you know, families don't do that anymore now. And,
so here's the $1 million question. Tom says Friday nights, 40 young people down here playing cricket. So can Holmesfield keep them and turn them into first team cricketers, people who will help with the ground, people who will be treasurers and secretaries? And is that still the objective, the aim?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, we did it in our era. We were a dying club, weren't we? Really, we were bringing players in from all over. We did it. Whether it's the world's changed, so whether we can do it again, I honestly don't know. But that is the ambition for us, you know. Because if we don't do that, we won't. You know, I mean, we've been in our roles between us probably for 150 years. And the only we've got our AGM tonight, and we'll vote on who's going to do each job. And I've written the minutes before because you know, I'm going to be secretary, Tom's going to be chairman, Stuart's still going to be treasurer, captain's still going to be Jimmy, and you know, and that's it. You do need you. But having said that, we've got some great young people now who do come down, mow on the pitch and stuff. Which we didn't have that as much actually. There was a few people before, whereas we've got more people.
But to be really fair about it, Tom's family have played an enormous part in this cricket club. In fact, they have been the cricket club for certainly the last 50 years. And Tom's got 2 sons, both of whom played. And I'm not going to end this interview without mentioning the Pearson ladies, because they do teas and organise teas, and there are a number of young ladies who still are associated with players who will always support tea making and so forth and so on. But it's not easy anymore. It's got to be very well planned, because these ladies themselves have got jobs and things to go to. So the world, like John said earlier, it's a totally different place to when we first started. So that's and we just hope that with what we're doing now again, we can carry on.
What about the format of cricket that's played? Because there's a lot of conversation. I know the Premier League in the Derbyshire Premier League are now going to play win or lose. There'll be no draw cricket. And there's lots of talk about we need to play 20 or 30 over cricket on a Saturday so the kids can get out. What's your view of because presumably you all, throughout your careers, played 46, 45, 50 over cricket, winning draws, losing draws, all that kind of thing.
Oh, 46 overs is too long.
Right.
It's too long.
That's interesting from someone with your experience, and presumably all your cricket was...
Yeah, I mean, you know, people don't want to start playing cricket at 2 o'clock and finish at 8.
So what would you do, Tom? I'm interested. What if you were going to rewrite the formats?
We have a proposal, don't we?
We have a proposal.
Oh, right, go on then.
Yeah,
Stuart will tell you the proposal.
We've got, if you look at what we propose is, you know, a 40 over game, and if you wanted to foreshorten it further, you could make those 8 ball overs. So you make all 240 balls 8 into 8 ball overs. That would shorten your swap over each time. You cut tea down to 20 minutes and you start at 12:30, 1 o'clock by arrangement, so that young people who want to get away can, and they can be gone by 5:30. And it's just a question of listening to the people who've been here, and we've had conversations with other teams, and they've all said the same, that young people would love to get back home as quickly as they can, because they're under some pressure from their wives stroke girlfriends to actually do that. So that's our proposal, but it is playing win-lose cricket, so that you do have a result at the end of it. You can adjust the game, I think, in the short term by saying leave cricket in the Derbyshire League, in the Premier League and first and second as it is for the short term, because that is more close to county cricket.
Well, they're trying to generate county cricket.
That's exactly right. And so, in real terms, what you've got is, I think, a proposal that reaches a compromise for everyone playing on Saturday, that shortens the game slightly to fulfil the needs that we talked about, and it makes sure that the game itself is seen to be doing something in terms of forward movement.
Very enlightening. So is this being proposed by this club?
Yeah, we've got it now. I can show you. It's in my briefcase to go to the AGM.
What's the like, you say clubs that you've spoken to support it? Do you think it'll go through? Is it something that
we're going to send
I don't think
we're going to send this proposal to Mick Glenn after our AGM. I have not sent it out yet until we get the meeting approving it. But at the end of it, it's just an idea that they can pick and choose and take areas from that they may want to use, and we think it would be a good idea going forward in view of where young people are.
John, I suppose it's about that balance, isn't it? Because it's very easy for us traditionalists to say, no, you're going to play 100 overs on a Saturday and this is when it'll finish and start. But actually, you talk to some of the mining communities and their games never started till 3 o'clock on a Saturday. So that the morning shift would not off into a go-play cricket. So there was a time, I mean, you wouldn't dream of starting at 3 o'clock now, would you? But of course, presumably they got the overs in quickly and they could finish in a 4-hour window sort of thing. So, what's your view on that? It's got to come, do you think?
I think I think so, and I think the world's different. There are other commitments. There are. I mean, we have a number of our players who do work on Saturday morning. A number of our players run their own businesses, you know. So again, there's other pressures as well as the family. So I think it's got to change if we're going to keep village cricket going, you know. And you've got to adapt to the time. Yeah, we've still got to be able to feed the first class game and everything. But to do that, you need more people playing and being committed to playing every week.
Well, you've got an annual general meeting to go to, gentlemen. You're all going to be re-elected, so you can add to that 150 years of service. It's been absolutely a breath of fresh air to come up here and literally to this beautiful place, even though it's been throwing it down with rain all day and it's gloomy. It's a beautiful spot.
Come on a better day.
I thank you genuinely, because clearly while cricket's in the hands of people like you, committed volunteers, then there's hope for the future. So all of you, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.